Houston Texans. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, on a wonderful fall afternoon in the state of Texas, the roof is open, and we've got football from NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They're halfway home, looking good at a perfect 8-0.
And not much to complain about so far, is there? I'd have to say they're the best team in the NFL through the first half of the year.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he's got it across the 50 to the 47-yard line. That one 28 yards on the ground. They went with the nickel look defensively, so they had 5 defensive backs in there. Didn't help them stop the run.
Yeah, I love that, the nickel look. 5 cents, 5 DBs. But what also happens then? You take a big body off the field in order to insert that guy. So you're taking a big off for a little. And oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
Now a pass hauled in downfield. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
On second down, Samuels. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll lead here to a third down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on third downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll run for the first time with Sony Michel. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. A CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
A running play on first down, and it turns into a fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
On first and 10, Watson. That's to his running back, Sony Michel. It's a gain of 9 yards, and that'll make it second and short.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
From the gun, they run with Michel, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. The numbers a week ago for Michel. 17 carries, 76 yards.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on it. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about. Would have put him in the lead, but hold that thought.
Yeah, the celebration had to stop, didn't it? Because now you're on a real uptick. You're in the lead. Instead, you're still behind. Have to find a way to regroup.
Open man is Hansen. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
He may try and run for this. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
Now this pass to Vance McDonald complete. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The last play on the completion got him half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. From the gun, here's Brissett. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
Yeah, a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today. Right. So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. And that's caught inside the 35. Give him 30 yards there.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. A 1st down carry here for Johnson. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Watson. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. From the red zone now, Watson. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. In the pocket, chucked it away. Flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field, have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
On 2nd down, here's Watson. And that is incomplete.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
3rd and long. It's Watson. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Stephon Tuitt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool the defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
So the long field goal misses, and now the reverse. You're in a tough spot defensively. They'll start the drive at the 43. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. On the carry, it's Samuels. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Trying to get the first with Samuels. 20! And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down. Facing short yardage on 3rd down, but he was able to pick up a very sizable gain.
He certainly was, and I think that maybe they were fooled a little bit because you and I both know this is a passing league, and that's not normally a running down, and they fooled him with it. Safety had to make the play. Otherwise, he's still running, and the next thing, he runs right into the goalpost.
They'll go with Snell here on 1st down. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Benny Snell, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers have taken the lead. And on his way to the end zone, shedding the tackle, he would not be denied.
That's what's called finishing the run. Making sure you power your way through. One-on-one tackle. No running back wants to go to the bench and say, I got stopped just short.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
From the 29, Watson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man, has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. This is Johnson, he's got it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
An excellent run of 22 yards on the keeper and also a first down.
Pretty nice play here. They go read option, read the defensive end, and when he collapsed down inside, how about the quarterback pulling it, keeping it, and not only getting to the second level, but picking up some really nice yardage.
Very, very well read. He gets it to Thomas. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. He wants it all for the end zone, and that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's fourth down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Now the intended receiver out of the backfield was Jalen Samuels, and it's second down.
Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
To throw once more on second and 10. Brissett, he was looking for Dthed Moncrief that time, and it'll bring up third down. The Steelers on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Brissett, and unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. I don't know, he had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
We get a glance at Duke Johnson as he heads back out onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call the West Coast offense, the long handoff?
Yeah.
Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. From the 35 on second down, Watson, and this is incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 3rd and short. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Watson on third down, dancing to his left. He can run. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and it's picked up by the Steelers.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
Should have gone down. I mean, hindsight. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Washington, his second touchdown on the season. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Well, what a quick turnaround there. They get the football. Next play, boom, touchdown.
I've been in a situation before where a turnover occurs, and if you're over on the bench with your defensive mate and you talk about what to do on your next series, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, you got to get out on the field and defend right away. Not everyone is mentally prepared to go.
Is that what is yelled on the sidelines a lot of times?
That, among other things.
Maybe some words we can't share. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions. but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Check 50. Check. Out.
On third down, Watson. He finds his man Johnson. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the first, right around the 42. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the